welcome to Nailchemy. My name's Lisa Graves, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make a 3D acrylic gonk, and he is so cute. Hope you enjoy this one. Thanks. Okay, right. So we are going to work on this nail today. It's the middle nail. It's just going to give me a little bit more surface area to work with. So, as you can see, I already got my tip down and primed and prepped, and I've put a clear acrylic base down, just a thin one. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come in, I'm actually going to do this entire nail just nude, because I'm going to do something magical on the top. So I'm using peach core powder, and I'm going to build up most of my strength and structure with this, but I am going to be keeping it slightly thinner, ever so slightly, just because I'm going to be doing, I'm basically covering the entire nail in 3D work in acrylic, so you'll get extra strength from that without then making the nail too bulky. So work that down to the end of the tip. Take any excess off the end. Glasses would help again. I'm terrible with my glasses. Very sat here thinking, why can't I see a thing? My glasses are on the top of my head. Right, so keep your nail tilted down when you're working in the cuticle area. And then you can just tap that acrylic into place. And it will settle nicely around the cuticle. Sort them sidewalls out. And then you can just feather the rest of that bead. Like so. Ta-da! Right, so I'm going to let this nail set, and then I'm going to give it just a rough file. Get it nicely shaped. It only needs a little file, to be honest. It's looking quite good, so I will be back in a couple of minutes. Okay, so I've given this a nice quick file, so you can see I've got thickness on there, but not perfect thickness, just because, like I said, I'm going to be coming in with, I don't think that's the one I was meant to pick up. One second, and I'll tell you. No, it wasn't, although I do quite like that. One sec. Yeah, that's definitely not the one I was meant to pick up. This is the one I was meant to pick up, but I might use some of that on top of it, you know, because I like that.
So I like how pink that is.
Yeah, so I'm using pink steel, but I accidentally picked up celestial instead, so I might end up adding some of that into this. Right, so what I'm going to do first, let's move that out of the way. Using my pink steel, because this is such a beautiful pastel pink. I'm only using this for colour, by the way. For now I am. I'm only using colour at the minute. So I'm literally just going to mark out where I want my hat to be and start laying down this colour. Get it right into that cuticle area. So I think I want it kind of around about here. I am going to need my 3D brush at some point, so let me... That's not a 3D brush. That's not a 3D brush. So it must be, ta-da, that one. Oh man, I like.
They all just fall out.
I've just dropped a brush, yeah. Just dropped a brush. Right, so I'm going to thicken this up a little bit now. So a little bit more pink steel. It's so pretty, isn't it?
Such a me colour.
And I don't want to get this too thick, but I do need to start adding thickness. And then what I'm going to do right on the edge of this, I'm going to start pushing it, pulling it rather, creating this lip. Oh my God, I'm having brush issues. So use the belly of your brush if you need to. If you need to swap down to your 3D brush for this, you can, but really push that up and start making a nice lip. A little bit of definition. Nope. Just need a bit more down this side here. So again, you can stick with your 3D brush if you're happy. I like to bounce around between brushes, to be honest. But only start pulling it as it starts to set. Flattening it out. Don't worry about getting a nice dead straight line either. It's okay if it's a little bit wibbly wobbly because this is the hat. So, and no edge to any hat is ever perfect. And don't worry about this little bit of acrylic under here as well. That's going to get covered up. Right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to stick with my 3D brush. And what I'm going to do, Orlando's having a little dream. I pick up a smallish bead and pop that on top. And I want to blend the top of this bead into the rest of the nail. But I'm going to create the fold in this hat. So again, I want the edges nice and defined. So I can use the belly of my brush to keep that nice and sharp, but I want the top of that blended in. And then this coming almost into a point. And then if you want to, you can create a nice crease in there as well. There we go. And I'm going to add some creases along the edge here as well. So same as, I'm going to blend the back of that bead, moving it along the nail. And then as that starts to set, I'm just going to run my brush along the side. Like this. And another one just to the side of it. So blending the back of that bead into the rest of the nail. And then keeping this edge nice and crisp. So these are just some creases and wrinkles in the hat. Everything's buzzing at me today. My phone, my Fitbit's yelling at me because I've not moved about enough. Right, so as you can see, the back of this bead isn't completely blended. Not a problem, because we can just get a small bead and just brush over that. Like that. We're going to be leaving this acrylic completely raw, by the way, so that's not a problem. Right, now I need my white acrylic, but I'm not going to be using white. Where's my lid? Who knows? Just let's get that out of the way somewhere. I'm not going to knock it over. I'm going to be using titanium, which is, it's all right, Sam, it'll turn up. I'll find it somewhere. I've probably knocked it on the floor or something, along with all my brushes and my artisan paints. It's fine. Right, so I'm going to create my my beard. So for the beard, lots of different things you can do. You can just leave it completely plain, absolutely completely plain, literally just paint on your white acrylic, or just start off the entire nail instead of using nude, just go straight in with your white acrylic. But I'm going to create tiny little beard sections, like a big thick full fluffy beard. So as that first one is setting up, I'm just going to pull it down, kind of like how you would form a petal. I'm going to pull it down and leave the thickness on the end here. Same again with this. Pull it down, press it out, like that. So this bit can be a little bit time consuming. So what I'll do is I'll do a few, and then what I'll do is I'll skip, because you don't want to watch me make. Probably going to need maybe 25, 30 of these, and that's a bit tedious to watch. So I'll do a few. So I'm placing 2 beads at a time. That's just giving the first bead time to start setting up before I start pulling on it. And we're just going to start overlaying these. Filling in any little gaps. Again, as long as you've got that definition right on the edge, and as long as your beads aren't too wet and blending into each other, it'll look fine. Pop 1 bead there. So never pop 2 beads next to one another, because then your chances of them blending into each other are quite high. So 1 there and 1 there, and then I'll make sure that I pop 1 in the middle between those. So start pulling this one down, layering it over that first one that we did at the bottom. And you'll really see it start coming together. It always looks a bit first, when you get the first few down, you're like, oh my God, what is this? But as you get a few more on and on, it really starts to take shape. So this is why I kept that first bit of the nail relatively thin. Still had enough strength in it, but a little bit on the thin side, just because we're adding quite a lot of detail in acrylic. Right, I'll do this last one, and then I'll skip the last few, because it's going to get a bit boring. So just make sure you are not covering all of it. I'll show you where you need to stop, but covering all of this bottom bit. Don't worry if some of your beads are slightly bigger or slightly smaller. So long as they're all coming down and looking somewhat beardy. And I love this colour as well. This is perfect for it. It's like a proper winter beard. Okay, right, I'm going to keep going and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I've just added my last couple. And what I have done is I've made sure, because I've still got my moustache and my nose to add in here, I've made sure that this side is nice and flush, and here's nice and flush, and all of this section is nice and flat. So we've got all your 3D elements coming up and out further down the nail, but here's nice and flush, so I can easily maneuver my next couple of beads. So adding the moustache in, this is optional, you can just go full on with the beard. I'm going to drop a bead here, just let that start to set up, and I want to keep this quite flat. I'm just going to start teasing the end like this into a point all the way over to the edge. I need this section in the middle relatively flat, because I've still got to add the big nose on, and I don't want to lose definition around the edge. So make sure your bead isn't really runny when you pop this on. Right, now I need to do the same but going the other way. So same sort of size bead. Make sure it's not too dry. Place it where you need it. going to start teasing this out into that moustache shape. Press it out here because I don't want it too big and bumpy. Again, because I've still got to get my nose in. But that's looking good. Right, so back in with Peach, which was the nude underneath. Now we want a really nice big bulbous nose. So I'm going to stick with my 3D brush. I'm going to pick up a decent sized bead. You can always add more to this, and I'm going to let it start to set on my brush a little bit, and then I can place it on. I don't want this bead settling as such, I don't want it running away, but I'm going to tap it and let it start forming a nice nose shape. But as you can see, I'm going to need this. I don't know, do you think I need this bigger?
No.
You sure? Because gonks have quite big noses, don't they?
I do.
Do you not think it needs to be a smidge bigger?
I don't know.
In fact, if I just flatten that
There you
out,
go. Spot on.
like that.
Yep.
I don't want it too circular though, so I'm just going to flatten the top of that like it's really sticking out of his nose. Like so. Right, so the last thing we need to add to this is the bauble on his hat. So back in with titanium. Did you want me to? Oh no, I'm not going to add any of that celestial. I did like it, but
you do that celestial. His bauble is celestial.
no, the bauble on the hat's always got to be in white. Always got to be in white.
Oh, his isn't.
Yeah,
The
but I think
silver
he
ones.
looks nice. So same again, I'm going to let this start to set up on my brush, just because I don't want it running anywhere. Add that right on the end. See, it's got to be in white. Look at that. And just let that settle for a minute, and then I'm going to give that a little bit of a squash, but not too much of a squash.
I love it.
He's so cute. What we calling him, Sam, seeing as everything we do in these nails has a name?
It's got to be Sparkle.
No, that's a, I was going to swear then, that's a rubbish name, Samantha. Right, just while this is setting, I'm literally just going to jab just the tips of my brush in, just to give it a bit of texture. Like that. I can't.
Spangle.
I thought you were going to call it Spanky.
Spanky.
Spanky the gonk.
Spanky is actually quite good.
I don't think we need to do anything else to that, do we?
No.
He's super cute. He or she?
Well, it's definitely a he.
He. Oh yeah, he's got a beard, hasn't he?
Either that or it's menopausal.
He is feeling super sexy and super spanky.
Oh,
He is nameless.
Yeah,
he is nameless. Think of your own name and name your own. But there you go. I really like him, not her, because he has a beard. Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Make sure you tag me in any creations that you do, and don't forget to give us a little like, drop any comments that you've got down in the comment section below, and hit that subscribe button, but make sure you turn on notifications. And I will see you in the next video.